The Vingegaard group is not even a peloton.
Yeah, you're going to see Davide Piganzoli's yellow jersey behind this group very, very soon, I think. And they know that the game is up. There is Piganzoli. He's picking off Wout Poels now. And really stepping on the pace. There's almost a minute now between Vingegaard and the Maglia Rosa Eulalio as Jai Hindley and Michael Storer grab bottles from the side of the road. So too does Felix Gall. Still is Bernal on the wheel of Vingegaard as Ciccone, in a bid for glory here, tries to go off the front and hold off this Piganzoli chase with Rubio on his wheel. Well, hats off for Giulio Ciccone. This is the second time in this year's Giro d'Italia he's gone deep into a final summit finish, only to be caught in the last few kilometres.
30-second now, as the gap over Eulalio is a minute from the group of Vingegaard and all the other GC contenders. It's going to be even larger than this at the end of the stage, and as well for Giulio Pellizzari might be the chance of getting himself into the position of wearing the maglia bianca. Ciccone and Einer Rubio continues the effort as Piganzoli is about to taking all the remaining.
I think there's only two riders ahead of Piganzoli now, and I think it is Einer Rubio and Giulio Ciccone.
Still Bernal in there with Tim and Aresman, so more than a teammate actually. Pellizzari is getting dropped.
Pellizzari. He is getting dropped, and that's good news for Afonso Eulalio and bad news for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, who've still got Jai Hindley in that group. But Pellizzari just showing a little bit of weakness there, and that gap is growing fast. I can't see a way back for Giulio Pellizzari, so already for the Italian it is damage limitation as Piganzoli then, another phenomenal young climber from Italy, sweeps to the front now, and the race has come back together again. Yep. Piganzoli takes them to 5 kilometers from the top.
And that's the front of the race, not any riders from the breakaway, as Piganzoli continues to drive in and dig in deep for Jonas Vingegaard. We are not far from seeing the Danish rider going on the attack, as Giulio Pellizzari has been dropped, but it hasn't been cracked yet, as he seems like he's refound some more energy as he's getting closer to the front of the race once again.
Yeah, it's a gutsy recovery there from Pellizzari.
But this hairpin is going to hurt in the legs of everybody else.
Yeah, Arendsman just found Felix Gall coming past him in that little battle between those two riders for the podium place. Egan Bernal is still there on a good day, Jai Hindley too, but Michael Storer is now slipping and falling away.
Yeah, he's going to soon be caught by Giulio Pellizzari, who's still not far from the group of Maglia Rosa. Damage is done. Aresman also drifting back, as well as Bernal.
And here he goes, Jonas Vingegaard, 4.6 kilometers from the top. This is the bid for the Maglia Rosa. He gets to the front. Piganzoli rides on. Felix Gall, the only rider to go clear of the rest of the group of favourites, looks round, checks, sees that he's got the gap on Arendsman and Bernal, and sets his own rhythm. Now he'll lock on to that blue jersey. It wasn't a devastating attack there from Vingegaard initially. He got clear, he came off the wheel of Piganzoli, and he's got the gap, but he's also got Gall behind him, and we know that Felix Gall will measure this climb very efficiently. We've seen this story before.
Piganzoli doesn't quite have the energy to match the speed of Felix Gall, which is still there. For Jonas Vingegaard, he knows he doesn't have to dig too deep at this point. Still 4.5 kilometers till the top. Once he open up the gap on Felix Gall, he just need to ride his own tempo and hoping it's enough to hold off the Austrian riders. Piganzoli managed to rejoin Felix Gall, so then it's an indication that Felix Gall might be slowing down a little bit compared to what he was doing before. In the background, in the meantime, it's Aresman, Bernal and Jai Hindley.
What a ride from Piganzoli. Having done that job there, just to be able to get onto the wheel of Felix Gall and hold his position there is incredible. And also an indication that Piganzoli wants to ride a GC race as well as supports Jonas Vingegaard.
Yes, he can become a very good prospect for the future of Visma Lease a Bike, on duty as a domestic today, but nonetheless he's present up front, and is going to gain a lot of position in the GC, Davide Piganzoli.
Well, make no mistake, this is a bid for history now. Jonas Vingegaard, it was signalled all day long. You could have written this script before the race even got underway, but don't underestimate how hard they've had to work for this. Taking control of this race, this 133-kilometre race, in and out of the massive mountains and the big climbs outside Aosta. And Vingegaard has delivered 4.5 kilometres from the top. Hindley now putting a little bit of difficulty on Thymen Arensman, and Pellizzari, good recovery from him. He gets across to Arensman, and the two Red Bull Border Hansgrohe riders can work Arensman over here. Michael Storer all on his own and losing time as Hindley goes away from him.
And Bernal also, I think he was slipping even further down on the road, as we haven't seen where he's at the moment. 15 seconds for Vingegaard on Felix Gall and Piganzoli, and 33 on the group of Pellizzari.
Yep, 16 seconds to Felix Gall, and going out 3.6 kilometers to go. Now, has Jonas Vingegaard timed this particular attack and this ascent as well as he did on the first climb of Blockhouse? Well, Felix Gall was able to shut that gap down a little bit on that occasion, but he looks like he's really suffering on this climb. Maybe the heat as well, but Felix Gall sees 16 seconds become 19 seconds, and suddenly Gall seems more concerned about what's happening behind him than what's happening ahead. And the signs aren't so good today for Felix Gall.
Arensman and Giulio Pellizzari as Jai Hindley.
He's dropped Arensman. And Jai Hindley has got 1 minute and 9 seconds to make up on Thymen Arensman, and could potentially end the day in a podium place.
Yeah, still a long way, because as you see, the speed is very high on this climb. The car overtaken Jai Hindley. The gap keeps growing over Vingegaard, but there is more subplot on this race, because the podium is still up for grabs.
Yeah. Jai Hindley looks really strong there, doesn't he? And he's only, what, 12 seconds behind Felix Gall and Davide Piganzoli. He'll see the cars ahead of him. Can Hindley get across to the second group on the road that we're looking at there, where Felix Gall just has that yellow jersey sitting on his wheel, Piganzoli, which is in itself remarkable that he's able to do that.
What a ride. I think the best domestic today come from him and definitely Team Rex at the beginning, but what a ride by Piganzoli. He's conceding like half a meter now. As Felix Gall used to do this kind of efforts where it doesn't look like speeding up much, but with the cadence picking up and then eventually accelerating. 25 seconds, 24, just hanging in there as we approach the last 3 kilometers of the climb. Doesn't look in big distress, Vingegaard, as Piganzoli
finally lets the wheel go. He'll ride on, though, because he clearly wants to place himself high up in the top 10 of the GC at the end of the day, starting the day in 13th place, which is a very, very rare accomplishment for a climbing domestique. Hats off to Davide Piganzoli, the discovery of this climb. And the Red Bull duo have got together again. So Giulio Pellizzari is having an extraordinary climb. 1 minute he's beaten, the next minute he's recovering, and he's got across to Jai Hindley.
Thymen Arensman had to concede some ground on the duo for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe.
Digging in, though, Arensman. And it's not impossible that the Dutchman can get across to the Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe duo. He's got time to play with, Arensman, and should be in third place at the end of the day. Felix Gall, of course, ahead of him on the road. And for Gall to take Arensman's place is a 27-second turnover. Remember that bonus seconds could come into play as well for Felix Gall to move into second place on GC at the end of the day. But there's little doubt about who's going to be in the lead of the general classification, and it's going to be a big lead as well. It's going to be Jonas Vingegaard, 2.3 kilometers to go, unless the wheels come off, but they won't. The Dane looks totally in control, in command of his effort, attacking from the perfect distance out for a rider of his class. 4.6 kilometers to go. This time, Felix Gall can't seem to do much to bring Jonas Vingegaard back in the closing kilometers. I think he'll already be more concerned about Thymen Arensman behind.
The duo here still together. Pellizzari with a miraculous recover for what he was looking like a disaster day for him.
He's impossible to read today, isn't he, Giulio Pellizzari? But it's going to be a much better day.
Yeah, they're about to get on Piganzoli as Vingegaard doesn't show a sign of weakness like it was the case of the Blockhouse stage. Just very composed today. 2 kilometers to go for the Danish rider. Still wearing the maglia blue of KOM leader, but it's going to be swapped by a much more important one. Maglia Rosa is going to go in his own end after this stage, as the Maglia Rosa, Eulalio, is at 2 minutes now. So it's going to lead at least on 1:30 over Eulalio, and to be seen about the remaining of the riders. Still a good defense for Eulalia so far. 50-second on this group as they caught Piganzoli. Just 7 seconds for Arsman. It's not yet there. It's not far either.
Very close. Arnsman's position in the general classification, courtesy of that brilliant individual time trial, is being threatened by Felix Gall. At the moment, Gall has got 21 seconds on Tiemann Arnsman. He needs to take 27 seconds at least to take his place on GC.
And look at the right of the screen, the time of the climb compared to the record that was not set a long time ago.
Wow, he's going to obliterate it, isn't he? 1.6k to go. And he's got 12 minutes in order to get to the top. Jonas Vingegaard is shattering records here, and he's making history. Danish fans then roaring on their hero, Jonas Vingegaard, in his first ever Giro d'Italia. It's going to be victory number 3 for him. That in itself is an astonishing reward, but this is a hammer blow in the general classification. Felix Gall now at 42 seconds.
He's not able to repeat what he was doing in the previous uphill finish, where he was able to manage the effort and stay at least close to Jonas Vingegaard. Now Pellizzari and Hindley, they see him right in front of them, and they might as well ending up all together, the 3 riders here, the 2 Italians, Piganzoli, teammate of Vingegaard, Pellizzari in white jersey, and Hindley. They might as well get to this man. Felix Gall is conceding a lot of ground on Jonas Vingegaard.
Yeah. Just a bit overcooked, the Austrian, today. He did exactly what he did on the last 2 climbs. He didn't try instantly to respond to Jonas Vingegaard's attack, but this time he didn't have the legs to just hold on to that time gap and even bring Jonas Vingegaard back. This time it's a very different story in the heat on this longer climb as well. Steeper gradients, the first real test, and significantly with all those thousands of meters of climbing already in the legs on today's parcours. So the softening up that Visma Leservike did on the entire peloton is another reason why Jonas Vingegaard has been able to devastate the field in the manner that he has done today. A perfect team performance, supported and amplified by a perfect lead performance as well from this man.
Last kilometer for Jonas Vingegaard, who's just see the finish line right ahead of him. If he just speed up even a little bit further, he might as well ending with the 1 minute gap over Felix Gall. Let's not forget there are also time bonuses at the finish line. 12, 8, 6 and 4 seconds available.
Nonetheless, despite Gall's frustrations in terms of chasing Vingegaard, I think he's got enough time, or he will have enough time, to supplant Tiemann Arnsman and move above him in the general classification once more. And that 3rd chase group featuring the astonishing Davide Piganzoli, Giulio Pellizzari, who's been really impossible to read on this climb, riding with Jai Hindley, swapping the work. Those 2 Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe riders separated by 30 seconds between them in the general classification, as only now does Felix Gall go under the Flamme Rouge and into the last kilometre.
50-second now the gap, and it's less than 10 seconds.
They are close. Hindley and Giulio Pellizzari coming across now to Felix Gall. They'll have him in their sights fairly soon. And the Austrian 2nd place on the stage looks under threat potentially.
Also, Arnsman is not far off the back. It's
battling on really well, the Arnsman, all on his own.
It is Vingegaard approaching the finale, is looking back, but it's impossible to spot anyone near.
Yeah,
100 meters.
In a class of his own, the man in blue.
Seemed like he just did the job today. He doesn't look like in any distress compared to the face he was showing in the time trial or in Blockhouse. Is a completely revamped Jonas Vingegaard.
And that is the frightening thing for all his opponents. If there were any question marks about Jonas Vingegaard after his disappointment in the individual time trial back in Tuscany, you can put them to one side now. This is the master at work. Coming to Italy for the first time in his career, riding the first 2 summit finishes to perfection, but allowing just a chink of hope for all his opponents. That door is being shut today by Jonas Vingegaard, roared on by big crowds here in the sunlight in the Aosta Valley. Jonas Vingegaard is displaying those championship qualities that have meant that he has been victorious in the Tour of Spain and twice at the Tour de France. He comes to the GiroD'Italia. He has not won the race yet, but he has taken one giant leap with this victory on the way to the Maglia Rosa in Rome, which is what he came here to do. A stepping stone perhaps for another tilt at the Tour de France, but this is a masterful statement at the Giro as he wins for the 3rd time of asking in Italy, and there is more to come from Vingegaard.
And this time, as I said, he doesn't look tired at all, just very relaxed and composed in his own effort. Felix Gall here as giantly a little